Hoo boy, and welcome to a cheap and easy vlog that I will probably forget about. That probably won't be its name in the future, but what do I know? Heh, get it, get it? I am totally like plugging the name of this series. Uh, Whatever. Or how I learned to stop worrying and love PowerPoint. This is kind of an interesting point here. I hate PowerPoint, and I've been pretty vocal about it throughout my entire academic career. I didn't realize that it was this useful for this. I've tried doing things in the past where I've narrated over Let's Plays and other things where I've done some screen capture on my computer, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This is an easier way for me to do this, and you know, I understand that it's not a video editing software, and there's some problems with the audio, and all kinds of things are going on here, but it's not really. This is probably work for my purposes, at least for this experiment. So I've tried doing a video blog before, or video log, or whatever the hell this thing is before, and we ran into some problems. I have memory issues. I was in a car accident, and I kind of reset sometimes. I have some memory issues. There's other things going on there too, but I do know that I forget things from time to time. I get bored easily. Yep, I will admit it. As much as this embarrasses me, it's not shiny enough. I probably lose interest after a while. Previous attempts to share my life have been less than rewarding. Well, let's just leave that at that. I have many things I'm neglecting in my work life, so spending too much time and energy on this would just seem counterproductive. There are many things I'm neglecting in my personal life. I call those things blind spots. And yeah, neglecting those too. And if I spend more effort on this than I need to, it just causes some problems. I have a contract that says that I can only make money in certain ways away from the university, and it seems pretty reasonable. And I have memory issues. That's going to happen, and I get bored easily. Okay, enough with the levity. Why do I think that this attempt is any different? Well, I'm not going to be distracted by a Let's Play. I actually thought about playing the first 10 minutes of Half-Life or something dumb like that, just kind of as an illustration of how Let's Plays wouldn't work. I don't need the studio. I mean, I have access to a really nice television studio, but it takes a lot of people and a lot of energy to work it, and I just don't have the energy right now. I don't need to build a half-ass studio in case, the university doesn't like what I have to say, which is probably not going to be a problem this time around. I don't need a crew. I don't need to depend on other people to do this. I just put on a headset and I go. And at this point, you probably have low expectations, which is good for whatever this is. This could be an exercise where I, practice being a better online professor. I doubt that's going to be. Okay, so what's this thing going to be about? I honestly don't know at this point, but I know what I don't want it to be about. Okay, what won't it be? A critique of other channels. There are enough of those. I don't want to be Drama Alert. I don't want to be Philly D. I really don't want to get involved with like anything Paul Brothers related. This isn't going to be unboxing and product reviews unless you happen to be a manufacturer and you like what I can offer here. And you can admit, or you don't mind me admitting that I'm a shill. Not sure if that's how you spell shill. Well, me complaining about politics or life, I will try not to do this because there are quite a few other people doing this. So, a cynical cash grab. I really can't monetize this account. According to my contract, I might be able to build another account, but as of right now, I can't make any money off of YouTube. And it's probably best because I don't think anyone's making a lot of money off of YouTube right now. You're probably clicking next. You don't have anything to do with this channel, and I'm fine with that. You can totally do that. I don't really care. And in the future, I'll probably forget about this anyway. But you know, this may turn into something. I really have a couple of ideas what I could do with this space and what I can do with everything else here. And I do have a television studio. We could always get shots of me, or I could set up a webcam and maybe set up a set in my home office or whatever. I don't know. So, moving right along. What do I know? Well, that's going to be the title of this podcast. I decided that I'm just going to go off and pontificate about whatever minor subject I know about that will not interfere with what I do for a living. I know about really old video games. I've been playing them my whole life. I know a little bit about the history of New Mexico. My family has lived part of it. Know about the history of media. I've lived part of it. Post-cowboy interests. It's a field of study I used to go into. Science fiction, you know, being in contact with the late great Jack Williamson and to a lesser extent Christopher Stasheff. Their love for sci-fi is rubbed off on me. And post-cyberpunk culture, I guess that goes with science fiction, but yeah, I just said cyberpunk. I really don't have a better phrase for that. The people in the late 90s early to late 90s who, you know, were a part of any organization who pretty much homesteaded the internet, get over the fact that I'm using the term cyberpunk. I know whenever I was living it, I really hated that term. I do Let's Plays of old games, but last time I did that, I seemed pretty disinterested in the whole thing, and you know, who really needs to watch me play Day of the Tentacle or Grim Fandango or anything like that? But I still might end up doing it from time to time whenever I need to make a point, and I don't want to have this whole PowerPoint interface going on. I'm definitely going to do the history of New Mexico, but I'm not going to do it from a factual sense. It would probably be more of a folklore thing than a skeptical inquiry. I would start with Toller or Benito or some of the silos around Roswell. I wouldn't start with UFOs or any junk, you know. I will eventually go to UFOs and go, you know, I'm not going to start with the Roswell incident, but I might go to the Corona or Arabella incidents. And begrudgingly, because of my last name and, you know, some things that my family have done in the past, I will have to cover William H. Bonney. There has been some debate over whether I am related. I am not related to William H. Bonney. His name was Henry McCarthy. I look nothing like him. My family looks nothing like him, but I have had family who attended his funeral. So that's what I meant by that. History of media. Well, this is kind of what I do for a living, and if you think about it, my ancestors were the first people in eastern New Mexico to have a working radio, and the first people in eastern New Mexico to have working televisions. So it's kind of something I do. I know that there have been small movie theaters that have been owned by family members of mine across the state. Yeah, a really fun thing I like to do is to go and see what was playing in Clovis about 100 years ago and try to find out if I can find anything about that movie. Spoiler alert, I usually can't. But I like the history of media, so I might be covering it. About post-cowboy. It's the title of an unpublishable thesis about Western culture I made a while back. It's almost irrelevant by today's standards. I really don't want to get into it. Modern politics have erased a lot of this history and culture. Science fiction. I like new science fiction. I like old science fiction. I've tried to write science fiction, and its tropes are pretty fun. Like, case in point would be time travel. It seems to be the message of most time travel movies is to not mess with the past. Now, why is that? Think about that. post-cyberpunk culture. I consider me and my generation to be kind of like the Sooners, but on a digital front. And we always talk about living in the future. I know that now is not the future, but prospectively speaking, it kind of is. So what is this? Is like, so far this is 10 minutes of me explaining what this channel is going to be about. I'm not sure if I'm going to list this or not, but I'm definitely going to upload this. So this is the the mission statement for my channel. Like I said, there are no promises. I probably won't be doing that many uploads, at least not while I'm working. And hopefully this works out and doesn't annoy the hell out of people.